What is up, people? You're watching BRUDDC Entertainment. I'm bringing you a brand new guest today. She goes by the name Flaco Beauty. She's a TikTok influencer, very entertaining girl. She's got a lot to say. Let's introduce you. How's it going, Flax? How are you? You alright? Awareness needs to be erased towards it, I think, at the minute. Like, some people just don't know. There's obviously people that do know and obviously take advantage of it, and obviously got their deeper intentions, obviously financial gain is most of the time with these sort of things. But yeah, some people generally don't know. Obviously, some people do it quite maliciously and stuff, you know. So how would you say you help people in terms of that then? Like, what would you do? What would be the process like?
Okay, so first of all, it's the fact that I'm making videos about it. I basically have, well, I did have, I can't even say this right, anonymity. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
I'm in a lawsuit, and also just in terms of, you know, the sentencing of the original abuser, I had full anonymity. You know the word I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I'm not even going to try to say it because you've done that. I'm not even going to try to say it because it's going to mess me up. It's going to mess me up. But this is a... Sorry guys, this is a raw podcast, you know, we're not scripted, you know, this is just raw, so we say it how it is.
You just have to take it as it comes, you know. So so I had full of that, and I chose to basically waive that by speaking out on my videos and making videos about it. I never had to have my name out there or anything to do with me, but I chose to because, you know, I kind of realised there's a lot of survivors of this thing or victims that are ongoing, and they don't have the voice to do that because they're too scared, and I don't blame them. But me personally, I've never really had an issue with speaking out, so I thought I may as well use it to do good. So once I make videos and I speak about it, I'm also able to get any young girls, young boys, or anyone, no matter what age, who have been victim to this, you know, ending up on porn sites non-consensually or underage. I'm able to help them get into lawsuits against these companies. I'm also able to help them start getting therapy and things for free.
Okay, that's I mean, that sounds like that sounds really, like, obviously really noble, and obviously it's something from the heart as well. So which is most important. Obviously, you've been affected by it, so obviously that obviously makes it feel a lot better when you're doing it. What would you say then to someone that, you know, that's not 100% sure, like, what to do, sort of thing, if they are sort of like stuck in a situation like that?
If you are in a situation, first of all, this one's for anyone who's underage. If you are underage and you are going through anything where you are being blackmailed, extorted, or just anything where someone has posted something of you non-consensually or has footage of you that you are not, that isn't meant to be there, the best thing you can do is contact the National Centre for Missing and Exploited Children, or your local police. I'd always say National Centre for Missing and Exploited Children because they work directly with law enforcement and are able to get your videos fingerprinted and get them removed. They're able to send out cease and desist letters and all sorts of things to help your content basically disappear. And you also need to be able to get justice for what's happened to you by whoever's done it to you because you're underage. As to anyone else who is older and are dealing with non-consensual videos being up online, your best bet is to go to the Revenge Porn Helpline, and they will be able to take it from there with you, or you can contact me. Either of the ages, you can contact me and I can get you some help.
Okay, so just bear with me 2 seconds. Yeah, I mean, that's obviously sounds like some obviously really good advice and stuff. So where can people contact you if they wanted to, like, get more information, hear more about your story, you know, just where can people contact you? What's the easiest place to get a hold of you?
Well, both of my TikTok accounts are open to message. That would be Flaco Beauty and then Flaco BIH. FlacoBeauty@gmail.com is my email address for anyone who wants to reach me there as well.
Okay. All right, so we sort of just jumped into that, sort of, obviously just had a little peek through at that little picture of your life, but obviously let's go back to a nice happy stage of your life now, sort of thing. A happy stage, because obviously I know that's obviously a deep rabbit hole that we could go down. I don't really want to do that just now, sort of thing. Just obviously want to make you feel comfortable and obviously tell the people a bit about you. So tell me about a happy time in your life. What was like the happiest you've ever been in your life, would you say?
Happiest time in my life? That's a difficult one.
Could be anything, you know, just the happiest, a time where you can look back and say, you know what, I was really happy then, I was in a really positive place, you know, whatever comes to mind. It's quite sad that you don't have this naturally, you know, most people just look back.
keep going. I actually don't have
All right.
a time in my life where I was happy,
All
Barbie,
right.
but yeah.
That's really sad. You don't have nothing in your mind to say. Obviously, it might have just. I know what you were saying before. Sometimes things just like with me as well. Like my mind goes blank sometimes, and and things just don't come in. But let's flip it on me for a second. Happiest time
Yeah.
in my life. Then maybe that will give you some ideas. I think the happiest time of my life, was when I was at school. Even though, like I would say, like maybe secondary school. Even though I wasn't like even I wasn't the popular kid or anything like that. My hygiene was terrible. But back in school days, that was like I was at my happiest. And if I could go back, that would probably be to them stages. And obviously, I'd make a lot of changes. Just it was just I was just happy. It was just like there was no stress, no bills, no financial worries, no nagging partners or anyone else.
Yeah. Okay, like, all right. A happy memory would be when I was really young, at my dad's side of the family, at my nan's house for Christmas. I'd have all my cousins over, my sister. We're all young, so like, Christmas magic and that. But yeah, I'll probably be around those times.
Okay. What do you remember your best gift being, like your best present or whatever for Christmas?
Bratz dolls, Barbie dolls. I used to love them.
Oh, okay. Bratz dolls and Barbie dolls, fair
Yeah.
enough. What? Okay, fair enough. Okay. Barbie dolls and stuff. Okay, fair enough. Okay.
Of
So
course.
come on, tell me a little bit more about yourself. I want to hear more about you. Come on, tell the people.
Oh my gosh, why am I so bad and I have to actually think of my own things?
Come on, you're talking about yourself, Rick. This is where the passion, this is where that Activision spirit needs to spike in, and I want you to tell
I
me a
know,
little bit about yourself.
my brain goes blank.
Okay.
More about myself.
Okay, something that you're most proud of. What's your proudest moment in your life? Your proudest moment, something you can say, you know what, and that's obviously I'm not going to put words in your mouth. Your proudest moment, what is something you're really proud and really passionate about, something you can look back and say, I'm so glad I done that.
I'd say when I testified in the ethics committee, it was the Canadian Ethics Committee. I testified against MindGeek, which is obviously the owner of like Pornhub X videos and everything. I had to testify in front of everyone. It was live.
How old were you when you did it?
This was 2020, I think. So I would have been. Oh wait, when I did it, I think I was 19 maybe.
Wow, so you're still a baby now, but you were like proper young, and you had to testify in court. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, I wasn't there, but it was all through Zoom because it was COVID and everything.
Okay.
And plus it was Canada, so like I wasn't about to go there. It's Canada, let's be real. So everyone was on, had all the cameras up. There were hundreds of people in, but it was live broadcasted, and obviously it was a big thing at the time because it was in the news and stuff. So yeah, I had to testify, and I was the only person from the UK, so barely anyone even understood what I was saying.
So you're testifying against the owners of Pornhub, were you then? So
So the parent company is called MindGeek. They own Pornhub, Xvideos, and loads of other different websites.
Yeah.
They had been in court the week before, well, not court, but the ethics committee a week before, basically calling me a liar, saying that these things weren't true. It was all false allegations. I then gave my testimony alongside a lot of other victims of Pornhub who had been on there, basically explaining how it's affected our life, like almost like a victim impact statement.
Yeah.
Also talking about our experience directly with them, and when we tried to get content removed, how that went, and blah blah blah. Yeah.
So what I think I have a brief idea about Pornhub. I believe when you upload a Pornhub video or something like that, you have to have consent from both parties, from all the actors. That's how I believe it is. Is that not the case then?
No. So basically, up until sometime last year, I believe. Again, when I say I believe, it's because I'm bad with times.
Okay.
But somewhere last year, up until last year, sorry, they had not one thing in place for uploading videos, which meant if I wanted to upload a video of anything, I can. Right now, if I wanted to upload a video of you, I can. If I want to upload a video of a child, I can.
Jeez.
Because you don't even have to verify your account. You don't have to verify who's in the videos. You can just upload. So for years and years, the whole time they've ever operated,
wait a minute. Are you telling me from only this year they've made the changes so that there was any Joe Blogs could just set up a Pornhub account and just bang videos on there. Is that no way? They just made
Not this year. I think it was last year up until then.
Oh
But
yeah,
it's
last year.
basically the same.
No,
Because
it is the same. It's terrible. That's 2022. That's like the whole of 20
the,
up until 2022. You could just upload a video of some random kid getting abused or whatever and get
I
paid
did,
for that as well.
and people did. So then what happens?
That is that
Is
that, that oh, that's a society problem right there. And them
crazy, right?
companies need to be sued, mate. That's disgusting. Up
Crazy.
until 2022, any random Joe Blogs could just bang videos on Pornhub or on a porn site and
And
get
the
paid
thing
for
is,
it.
they still are because they did a smoke and mirrors tactic. So they basically, the reason that they changed it, so they say, is
Mm,
because the news articles came out. I was featured in a news article under a pseudonym called "The Children of Pornhub." It was in the New
mm,
York Times, and it was written by Nicholas Kristof, who's a big author. And it was basically the first big thing that came out about, Pornhub, like what's happening on there to kids.
yeah.
And when that happened, sorry about that, people are shouting.
No
When that
worries.
happened, people started basically really talking about it,
Mm,
and it got bad for them. They were getting more publicity and stuff. So what they did, and this proves like their guilt so much, is they
mm,
removed millions of videos
yeah.
from their thing. They wiped them, all unverified videos,
Yeah.
which was all of them near enough. They wiped them, and they
Yeah.
started saying to verify who's in the videos, or you have to verify the account.
Yeah.
So then a week later, I get sent a link. I'm uploaded on a verified account, because all it was is that the person now, this is as of last year to now,
Yeah.
the verification is only of the account holder. Still no verification of who's in the videos. A child who was kidnapped, literally by a pimp, was found through a verified model's account on Pornhub, and she was a child and she was literally kidnapped and being sex trafficked. She was found through Pornhub videos, which was on a verified model account of herself.
That is just, for the life of me, like, I just can't believe that this is even a thing in this day and age. Like, it should be a very simple thing. Like, and you would have thought it wouldn't have taken until 2022 to sort of fix this. Anyone that has a porn account should have to be verified, like physically verified. All the identification, maybe three types of identification.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a normal thing. It's like they talk about, like the government and they talk about they don't want like pedophiles. They don't want pedophile material online and stuff like that. But why have they made it so easy, and why is it only 2022 before these changes have actually come into effect? That's just crazy. It's like they don't give a damn.
And the
It's like,
craziest thing is they're still not in effect, because right now, if you verified yourself as having an
mm,
account,
mm-hmm.
you could upload anything you wanted.
That is just crazy. Like, obviously we don't I don't I'll obviously have to do my background research on it, because I know a few of my friends did, like one of my friend colleagues that did work with me. He actually went into that sort of thing, but he did mention that a few things have changed and there's a little bit more red tape on.
The only thing that it's changed for is the model accounts.
Yeah,
So if
yeah,
you
that's it. Yeah.
verify your model account, you then have to verify who's in the videos. But as of a
Oh,
standard,
oh, okay, okay. So see, I don't get why they don't make every account a model account. Why don't they
because
just do that?
there's money. That whole model, this whole time has been money. If you view it, think about it. Like the most viewed category was teen. Why is that? Come on.
Yeah.
And then, do you know what I'm saying? When you look at that and you view as a society where we've got to, and then you view that this isn't stuff on the deep web, this is surface web. You can go onto the most viewed website ever, which is Pornhub, constantly, and you will find children, what you're looking for. It's mad.
That's just for me. I just don't understand. It's honestly like there's a mad conspiracy where the people at the top just don't give a damn about it, and they're just
100%.
happy. No, that they're just happy to collect money, or maybe they might have these intentions, and because you hear about it, don't you, in like Hollywood and stuff like that, where like all the elites, that they're doing crazy things on islands. Just is like Prince Andrew, and that's a bit crazy as well. It just seems to me that like they just don't care. It's like everyone goes up. Like, if for me, most people would honestly say anyone found guilty of troubling children should be killed, should be executed.
Yeah.
That is the view of the people. But for some reason, governments, they have all this protection for them and stuff like that. It's like we could be living with, like, every one of us is probably living next to about 50 pedophiles, and they're known pedophiles. It's
See,
like I
this is
remember hearing,
crazy
yeah, go
too.
ahead.
It's that the other crazy thing is that that's exactly what I've been trying to say. Is like everyone likes to say, you know, we're all against paedophilia. Paedophilia is the worst thing. Crimes against children, the worst things we can all agree on, right? If we're going to talk about morally acceptable things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another article last year came out in the New York, not the New York Times, the New Yorker. I was under a pseudonym as Rachel, and I told my story. And the response to the article shocked me so much because it was majority of sex workers and LGBT, very left wing, which surprised me again.
Yeah.
Surprised me. Which were the communities which were basically saying that it wasn't true, that this never happened, that I must be a puppet for Christian evangelicals who are waging the war against sex work. And when none of that's the case, we're just asking for verification of videos and for justice for the children whose lives have been ruined, and women and men who have been on there non-consensually. And it was crazy, the response. I've got a video on my thing of all the tweets, and it's just crazy when you see the type of things that are there. And I would message the people and I would try to tell them, you know, I don't care if you believe me or not, but I want you to know that this is a real story so you can reevaluate what you're thinking.
Yeah.
And they don't tell me, like, proof. Yeah. What do you mean you want proof?
Yeah, I mean,
I'd come out and said that I had been raped or something, for example. All that side of the community would be the first ones to tell me they believe me.
Yeah, that's crazy, and I must say I've witnessed this firsthand because I popped into a few of your lives, and it's like someone like it just the purity of someone's heart. Like if someone tells me they've been through some stuff where people have harmed them sexually, the last thing I'm gonna say is oh, you were doing it on purpose. Like this really evil-minded stuff that people have been saying to you is just crazy. Like we should all be united against people that trouble children. Every single one of us. If someone says it, if you have any concerns about the person making accusations, you know, you shouldn't air that. You shouldn't air that to them because you have to think about how that makes people feel. It's not like you're sitting there. Fair enough. If you're naming someone, if you say so and so did this to me, then his family and his defense have a right to sort of, you know, rebuttal what you're saying. But if you're just talking generally, and like you are with your activism against people, against victims of, you know, paedophilia and stuff like that, and banging it on Pornhub, you know, why would, like, what sort of heart do you have to sort of start accusing that person of, like, that's just crazy. And what I've noticed on TikTok is there's a lot of evil-minded people in there, and there's a lot of people in there like that are doing things, you know, that you can just see what they're doing, you know. But for me, that's just nuts. Like the way the negative response that you get from it, because it's like I said, you haven't. It's like you're Andrew Tating someone. You know, you're saying that Andrew Tate did something to me or whatever. You know, it's just it's like you're just talking in general and raising awareness for it. So everyone should be behind that message. You shouldn't have anyone.
I've got the guy who had started it is in prison for 32 years.
Wow.
That is solid proof that I have lawsuits open. I have proof of it. I wouldn't be able to be part of such a big lawsuit had it not happened because there are checks. There was people.
I can imagine.
Stuff. Like it's very serious.
Yeah,
because we're suing. Plus, going to prison for 32 years with me being one of the charges, I think it states right there
I think that says it all, really. To be fair, if someone's gone to jail and you know what gets me as well though, which is really really horrifying, is, you know, it's like I get it. I get it. Yeah, I get it. If it's like, because obviously the people that are doing these things, they're someone's brother, someone's mum, someone's sister, someone's dad, someone's uncle, blah blah blah, and you don't wanna think of them in that way. But if they've been found guilty of doing something like that, you can't defend that person. Even to this day, I know people, like, you know, I know people that have been abused by their own dads, and their mum is still with the dad, and it's like, how does that happen?
Well, the guy who went to prison for what he did to me and the other women and children, basically, when his dad found out, when the police turned up and told him, he ended up, I can't remember if it was a stroke or a heart attack, but he died when he found out.
Wow. I mean,
so and, you know, his own son's actions.
Yeah, I mean,
like, it's crazy.
I mean, and the universe has a way of bringing things around on people. You know, I'm a firm believer. If if you're doing bad things like that, the energy that you put out there, that energy will come for you eventually, in some shape or form.
Yeah.
In some shape or form, so you have to be very careful with what you're doing. But I mean,
I
that's
agree.
mad. So you're actively suing Pornhub right now for exposing videos of you as a minor, basically. That's insane.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
insane. So so
My
obviously, yeah.
company.
Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Because as well, they cause so much trouble by lying and calling us liars. When I have proof, just without all the deeper proof of people messaging me, I have proof just on my iPad from when I was underage, and I was emailing them to get things removed. And I remember I used to say to them, can you, if I didn't have a link because I'd been sent a screenshot and I couldn't send them a link, I'd say, hi, there's a video of me, I'm underage, can you remove it? And they try and tell me, we can't remove any videos unless you have a link. And obviously it makes sense, but at the same time, that shouldn't be the case, that shouldn't be allowed. Until a few years later, my lawyer sent them a cease and desist letter. And in the cease and desist letter, it said, any videos depicting this girl, Nicole, any videos depicting Nicole or with her name need to be removed right now. They were all gone. They deleted every single one. So they told me, as an underage girl, asking for my content to be removed, that they could not do it. Yet as soon as they had a legal scare, all of them were gone.
That's out of order because a lot. I mean, I imagine there's probably young girls out there, even young boys out there. They ain't got a clue what to do. They haven't got a clue who to contact and how to find representation. They're just gonna obviously take it as an L, a big L. But it's very important that obviously people have your message. If you are like an underage person. So just tell us again what to do because it's very important.
Yeah, if you're an underage person, please, or an adult, please message me if you are wanting to seek legal help or if you're wanting to start therapies and things. I have really good connections and it will not cost you anything. You can message me directly on TikTok at Flaco Beauty or flaco.biih. No, that's my Instagram. My Instagram is flaco.biih.
Shouting out the socials, yeah? Okay.
I know, I'm telling my Instagram now, but all my email is flacobeauty@gmail.com. But please also, if you are a child, please contact National Centre for Missing and Exploited Children so that they can actually help you and get content of you removed. I can put you in connection with them easily. Please contact me. There is so many different avenues of help. The Revenge Porn Helpline is also another one for anyone who is of age.
Yeah, and it's like I said, it's not an easy process, is it? Because it's like I imagine you've had to deal with a lot of threats and violence and stuff like that over your time, sort of thing. So I mean,
for the last 6 years or so, whenever it started, so it's definitely got better over the last year just because of how much my lawyers have worked to remove content of me every week. Even though yes, there are still things as of recently, because my videos have been doing better, the videos then arrive up again because people find me from places. But in terms of it just being able to be stumbled across, it's a bit more difficult now. But up until about a year ago, it was extremely bad. I had men turn up to my house who found me from Pornhub because my address got leaked and I was underage when that was happening.
Wow, that is crazy.
I was having hundreds of messages a day.
So how old were you then when these videos started surfacing and you started? Were you aware of these videos? Like, I mean, like, what was the process in that? I mean, a lot of people will say, like, what was the process? Were you in a relationship with someone? And they would just, I don't know, like, and don't feel you have to break down any details. Just like,
no, it's okay. It's okay. It's in my testimony and stuff. But basically, what had happened is from the beginning, I was around early 15, I think. And I was at home, it was late, and I got a message from someone I did not know on WhatsApp. I didn't have the number saved, and it was an image of me that I've never taken, no one's taken of me. And because the police ended up keeping my phone when I called the police, we believe that it was something to do with camera hacking or something. But that's just because they gave me the phone and they wouldn't give me an explanation. And from the photo I saw, I know I've never took that, no one's took it of me. It was as if it was from my camera, like, of me.
Okay.
Me obviously being at this time depressed, I'm underage, my brain's obviously not even developed, ADHD, everything. I'm sat and I'm getting told, do this or these videos go to these people.
Wow, so people were blackmailing you.
Yeah. And what had basically happened is me there not thinking like, oh well, these can be used against me too. I'm panicking and obviously thinking maybe they will leave me alone, and I took it. and they were telling me, I think at the beginning, to do 80, and each one they told me exactly, like my face had to be in it, my feet had to be in it, everything. I had to take 80 photos in underwear, 80 photos without. I then had to take 5 videos, all 3 minutes long, my face in, my feet in, of really sick and disturbing stuff, like really disgusting things. The thing that made me cut contact was when they started asking me, and I didn't do these, but they started asking me to take videos of me drinking my urine, eating my feces, like really tapped things, yeah. And I feel very sorry for the girls who did do those things, because I myself have seen them, and I pray for nothing but blessings in their life after that. So after that had happened, and I basically refused to do those.
So sorry, was this just like via a random WhatsApp note, or was it like someone that you actually? So it wasn't even someone that you knew.
No, I had no idea it was, no. And it was just, and they clearly had a fake picture up, like, because obviously the person wouldn't use their own picture. Plus, they were talking like they were younger, but the picture was like of an old white guy or something with glasses on. I don't know. I could tell it was just weird. But yeah, so after I'd done that and we'd not spoke, I was obviously nervous, like, okay, well, what's going to happen now? But nothing happened for about a good year, I think. I think it was about a year almost. No, almost a year, almost turning 16, when I was in a car, no, in a taxi, sorry, meeting my friend. And I get a message on Snapchat from a boy that I knew in the area, and he was like, oh, I'm not going to send you the screenshot, but I'm going to send you a link. I open the link and it's Tumblr, with a Tumblr page that is selling Dropbox folders of me and hundreds of children and girls, and really just sick stuff, like really sick, disgusting things. I think, yeah, just crazy. Some girls were way younger than me, but you could tell they were all done by the same guy. And I still can now if I come across something, because of the format he made us take photos in. They're all the exact same copy.
So so basically, this guy obviously found a way to hack people's phones, open their camera up, and basically use it against them, basically to make them do stuff. Otherwise, they were going to expose them. That is, and I did hear about this. I don't know whether this is the same case, or there was a big thing in the news quite recently about something like this, and like not recently, it was a while ago. I do remember hearing something about it. So that's
yeah. I know they had lots of different tactics. I know that was what he did to me and a couple other girls. I know there were also things he did that were like the sugar daddy type traps, and then black up there. There was also what else was it? I think he was also talking to someone and using it as revenge porn. Like, there was a lot of different things he did. He was even a woman got arrested with him, because he basically was getting this woman to abuse her 4 or 6 year old son and video it. Yeah, and obviously the woman got arrested for it, as she should. You don't do that to a child, no matter. But they were both making money off of it. She wasn't being blackmailed, so she got arrested with him.
It's just disgraceful what's going on in the world. Like, I swear, it's just crazy, man. And especially someone that me that's got children, you know, it's freaking painful, man. Hearing this stuff, that there's people, you know, it's just crazy. And it's to hear that there's so much backlash. Like, you shouldn't be waiting now. Pornhub, you know, they know they've got, if like, you know, they know they're a billion pound company, industry, whatever, and they've got videos. They've had videos of you up as a child. They should just be like, we're so sorry. We're going to delete everything from the record. This will never come up again. And here's a settlement fee for you, sort of thing.
Exactly.
There should be no sort of backlash with this. No fight, but no pushback.
Yeah.
This should be like, but it's do you know what it is? It's probably that there's so many people doing it. There's so many victims of it. They probably it's probably a situation where, you know, they're paying out for the rest of their life, sort of thing. You know,
it's that pet with the fact that it's literally their business model. Like, if it wasn't for the fact that they were allowing anything to be uploaded, they wouldn't have enough content that was getting watched, because the type of content people were watching on that and not the verified videos. And they were aware, because I made them aware. They ignored me. I gave them ways like, why don't you do verification? And they said on their testimony, and sat and lied and said they've only just come round to thinking about it, about making verification. But I've emailed to them dating back to about 2018, where I was saying to them, why are you not verifying videos?
That's the fact. In 2022, guys, like verifying a video, this is incredible. Like I think most people are going to be so shocked when they hear stuff like that, that there's no verification. I mean, someone can
Mm.
literally record your kid playing in the park and then bang it on Swing,
I,
and that's allowed.
when videos of myself removed, I have come across disturbing things. Like the type of shit that I've come across that you just wouldn't think. I didn't even know that that stuff could be on there until I found out I was on there. I had no idea until I found out I was on there. The day I found out, I was literally like, "There's no way, how?" Like I was literally, because I didn't know that could happen either. I thought it was just porn stars, but then I realized, oh shit, all these videos are not porn stars. All these videos, most likely, like if you really think about how many of the girls in those videos, unless they're really set up and staged, right? How many do you think have filmed that to go on there? If you really think about it,
It's crazy.
probably none.
That's crazy. I mean, and the very important thing is that they're children, and
Yeah,
they're unaware, they're innocent to this, and they should have been protected from it, sort of thing. So I
exactly.
think that's why there should be no pushback on it, and that's why it's very important for your message. For anyone going through anything, to call the police, contact someone. Like speak out as soon as you can. Don't be ashamed. And a big thing as well, blackmail. Don't let anyone blackmail you. Just you're
Mm,
better off. I mean, what would you say to someone what
yeah.
would you say to someone like, say, like a girl, for instance, that she's done a video, a guy's recorded it and he's tried to blackmail her? What would you say to her? What
Well,
would you advise?
I'll say this to girls and boys because there is a very big rise in men committing suicide over sextortion.
Yeah,
Because there's a lot of men who are being tricked into doing, whether it's things online to a webcam or blah blah, and then being blackmailed with that for money. They don't have it. They get scared it's going to get sent to people, and they commit suicide. So my main thing that I would say to anyone who's been blackmailed, whether they have something of you or not, is don't do it. Literally, call the police, because the fact is, no matter how embarrassing you think it might be, there is nothing that is more embarrassing than the person who's doing it, who has
yeah,
to stoop to that level.
a hundred
And no
percent.
matter how scared you might be, people are always there. Like there are always going to be someone who can help you,
Yeah.
even if it takes a while. Do not do what they're telling you to do.
Yeah, I think it's just so important when kids are young. We think, like, we don't want to get in trouble. Our minds are very, like, they're very susceptible to freaking manipulation and stuff. So, and also consequences. We're just worried about consequences. Like a big thing I
Mhm.
tell my kids: if you do something wrong, you know, take the slap, take whatever is gonna come, just take it, and freaking man up. You done something wrong, you take your lick and you move on. That's it. No one's gonna hold anything against you. Don't let anyone blackmail you. If you've
Yeah,
done
I think
something
the
wrong,
main thing too is if you're a child and
yeah,
you are having something like that done to you,
mm,
it's not even anything to be in trouble over. You are a victim in it at the end of the day. Like you are a child. As
mm,
much as you might have been told, don't do this, don't do that. You're not in the wrong, because grooming is real, exploitation is real at the end of the day. And if kids weren't kids, it wouldn't be happening. Do you know what I mean? But you are
yeah,
a kid. At the end of the day,
exactly,
it happens.
exactly. Oh wow, that we went down a rabbit hole. We went down a rabbit hole.
It's not even as
That's
deep as that rabbit hole yet.
I know, but I feel like it was deep for me. I went on a rabbit. I wasn't even expecting to go like that. Obviously, we're just talking in general anyway. I didn't want to be pulling you out and putting you in a situation or whatever. But yeah. So moving forward and stuff. Obviously, would you say you're in a much better place now than you've been for a while?
100%, 100%. I feel like for a long time, my voice was definitely. I felt like I was silenced for like up until about a year ago, when I really started speaking about it more. I felt like I couldn't speak about it, or I felt like I was being annoying. I still do have times where I feel like no one's listening. Do you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I know that there have been people I've helped, because I've managed to connect
Yeah.
people with lawyers and further
Mm.
on from that.
So
So
how have you been able? How are you? Because obviously, like, things get to people. No matter as tough as we are, as tough as we all think we are. There is obviously always a breaking point, and things will get to you, sort of thing. So, what do you do to, like, when you notice, like, just too much negativity is kind of going on? Do you just switch off from it? Like, what is your coping mechanism at the minute for it?
um,
Because
so
it's we can't
in terms
comprehend.
of negative from people, or just negative thoughts in general?
Um, I'm I'm talking from people, like, because I've seen the sort of stuff that you're getting from people at the minute, like, it's like I often say to people, just like, once social media gets too much, shut it off for a little bit, you know, turn the tap off for a little bit. Just don't let that information pour into your brain anymore, you know. But what's your sort of thing like?
So if I'm honest, like for the first few years when it obviously happened, the thing I learned in school, because I used to get bullied quite badly, was like if I don't seem like I care at all, people leave me alone quicker. So at first, when it first happened and I was getting really harassed, my thing would just to be to act like I don't care. So in order for me to act like I don't care, I have to actually convince myself I don't care. And that was a really bad thing I was doing, because for all these years up until last year, I convinced myself I didn't care, until now that no one's after me and causing me harassment, I'm sat alone with this I don't care when I do care.
Yeah.
And it finally lifted, and I felt everything from like the last 5 years of just what has happened to me, all that's happened, and I had a complete breakdown. I was really not okay. But as it gets now, like when I see people say things, the thing that upsets me the most for isn't for what's being said to me, but for the fact that how many other young people are gonna see that and think this is why I shouldn't say anything. And that's the sad thing. And when that happens, I think I start to deep the world too much in how it is, and then I take a break, because I'll realize I get very overwhelmed when I kind of view the world for how it is.
Yeah, it is, man. It is, and you're only a young. Even though you think you're a big woman now, but you are a big woman, obviously. But you know, you're still a young girl, and you're still like I still see, like when I look at you sometimes, I still see the sort of, you know, the mask that's there, sort of thing. But like, just you know, my only thing I would say is just, you know, just don't be afraid to distance yourself from it. Take it easy, and you know, just go for walks and stuff. You know, just like pour positivity into your mind, rather than having, you know, too much of this. That's too much. Yeah.
As of up until recently, like I wasn't really going out. A lot of it, like at the beginning, it was out of fear, like in the early years. But then after a while, it become so long of me being inside that I got anxiety even leaving the house just for anything. But as of you know, I go out like if I need to, like it's not a problem. I don't go out that much, but like when I do, it's a lot better. Like it's something that I've had to kind of force myself to do, so I can start getting back on track with my life and things.
Yeah. Have you moved?
It is like I'm getting there.
Have you moved around like in your life? Like, would you say you moved around areas and stuff? Have you moved around to get away from obviously people? It's a big quite a bit.
Area my whole life, but I've gone to a lot of different areas and things. Like I've gone to a lot of different.
Okay. Yeah. Do you feel that helps going somewhere different where no one really knows you and stuff?
Yes, 100%. That was something like, especially when it was quite a while ago, I used to love going to a different city, because I didn't feel like everyone who looked at me had seen the videos of me, if that made sense. Like I didn't feel like I was being viewed like that. I just thought none of these people know me. Yeah. But when I'm in my area, it's like I sometimes get so convinced that like everyone who's looking at me is looking at that, and I don't know, it's overwhelming.
Yeah, I think the only thing I would say, I don't know if it offers any comfort, is that, you know, you're a victim of it, so you shouldn't, there's no need for you to be ashamed from it, because it's even though just saying that makes it sound really stupid, because it's a personal video of you, their personal things of you, but even still, you were an innocent child at that time. So someone took advantage of you. It's like taking fun out of someone in a wheelchair or something like that. Something, you know, they've been put in them circumstances. There's nothing. It's, you know, it's not nothing for you to feel. Like only evil-minded people are going to be saying, "Oh yeah, look at her from the video." Like evil-minded people, and there's nothing you can do about that.
As well, like a lot of people didn't know that I was underage in the video. Because even though to me and a lot of people who know me, I already look young, but let alone like back then I did. But at the same time, there's a lot of people who would disagree, and so a lot of the time, especially when I'm on my live videos and I get these comments like, "Are you this blah blah blah?" and I'm just like, "Yeah, but," and I have to explain, and then they're like, "Oh," and it either goes one or two ways. We either get a respectful response, which is, "Oh my gosh, I'm sorry about that," or we get a, "Oh, that's peak. You still look hot though," and it's like, wow. Then you gotta like really, it can be difficult. Yeah.
So what made you join Islam then? I heard that you're a Muslim. Is that
No, I never reverted. I never took my shahada, but I believe Islam. I believed Islam since I was in school, but I not like really looked into it as much compared to like the last couple years when I really started reading the Quran and stuff.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, it's a beautiful religion. It's beautiful. I do still want to revert. I do still want to take my shahada and stuff, but I feel like I was going through something at the time when I was going to that knocked me a lot. I think something got said to me, and it was kind of like I think I kind of almost pushed myself away from it just out of feeling like I wasn't almost supposed to be learning about it or something. But no, it's a beautiful religion, and
I think it has a lot of bad stigmas. It's like Islam.
Oh,
Obviously,
definitely.
people obviously normally jump on the band, jump on like the things that there's one or two things that they hear and stuff, and then obviously that sort of like paints a picture and stuff. But I don't think you can help negative and ignorant people. I don't think you can really help. They're always going to have their views on whatever it is. They're just negative people in general. So
Oh,
I mean
definitely.
that's where it is.
Yeah, people just don't know how to read the book.
Okay, so looking forward now then. So looking forward into the
Yeah.
future for yourself now. So obviously you said tell us about the wig business again. What do you do? What do you offer? And where can we get it?
So I make lace front wigs, lace closure wigs. I colour them. I sell eyelashes and other beauty related products. I sell them at www.flacobeauty.com and Flaco Beauty on Instagram. I started selling wigs around 2018, I believe. No, 2019. Sorry.
I got to hit the story behind this. What makes someone get into wigs?
Honestly, it's because of like what happened to me. I couldn't go out and work, and I needed a job.
Oh, you said we skipped a bit. You said that you shaved your head once or something, didn't you?
Yeah.
Tell us about that then. What happened there? I've overheard the story, but tell us about it. What makes someone shave their hair off?
So my hair is naturally curly. So like my curl pattern I didn't know that my hair was curly until I got older, because even though I've got baby pictures now that I can look at and I see, wow, my hair was very curly. I never saw them growing up. And when you brush my hair out, it's just frizzy and big. So I didn't know that my hair's curly. I just thought my hair is just a frizzy mess. So my mum would straighten it and it would look a mess. I'd bleach it, it would go a mess. Like my hair to me was just like straight but frizzy. Until I realised no, it isn't. My hair's not straight. It's just that I keep brushing my hair out and I've not done anything with it. So then I thought, okay, let me start styling my hair like it's curly. But because I'd been using heat for like 18, 19 years of my life, however long it had been, it was absolutely done out. So I shaved it all off with a razor in the mirror for about 3 hours.
Wow. We need the picture for this, I think.
Do you know what? I'll send you a picture.
Definitely. I'll stamp that on the video.
Yeah. Like, I didn't want to wait till morning for an electric razor because I knew I'd changed my mind. So I didn't know about medication for ADHD at this time. So I'm very impulsive. I didn't learn not to be impulsive back then. Shaved it straight off. And yeah, so I was wearing wigs and stuff anyway. I used to wear wigs before that just for fun. But that's when I really started wearing them on myself. So it definitely helped to do with my business because I was, wearing wigs all the time and things to show them. But in terms of where I started my business, it was definitely, I needed a job. I couldn't make money. I couldn't leave the house. So I was like, yeah, let's do this.
Work from home, yeah? So
Yeah.
is it an easy process then, is it?
No.
How long would you say it takes to make one wig?
It really depends on like the colours I'm doing. Like if it was just a plain black one like this, then really quick, like an hour or two. Like after you bleach the knots and pluck and everything. But like if I'm doing a colourful one or like just blonde or anything that I'm like putting my time in and creativity in, then like over a day, because I'm gonna be stud and a lot of the time you've got to do double processes of colours and things. It's gonna take 2, maybe 3 for me personally.
So are you able to make like fancy dress wigs and stuff like that? Like something really like not cheap and really fast to make. Like people have like want pink hair, fancy dress sort of thing. Are you able to do stuff like that sort of thing?
I don't make those, no. I make the very high quality hair wigs. I use very high quality. I make the wigs for either the girls with a very good paying job or the girls with a very good paying boyfriend or husband.
Fair enough. And what would be the price of like a really quality wig, would you say?
It really depends on specifications, but anywhere from 300 to 700.
Wow. So you just have to do a couple of those bad boys a month and you're laughing, really, isn't it?
No, because I don't earn that money. I will buy the hair first.
Hair's expensive, actually. I do know
Yeah.
that, actually, especially for the quality hair. It's actually quite expensive. So yeah, that's good. Okay, some good news, people. Flaco Beauty is going to be doing reviews with me on my channel. So
Love it.
Flaco, can you give us a little insight to what sort of things you like to talk about, anything like that? What's obviously
What do I
I'll
like to
have my.
talk about? Anything but sports. Don't make me talk about sports because I
Hey,
don't like
don't even mention sports because Man United just got spanked by Arsenal, and
fans.
I feel so we got spanked. I feel physically sick. Honestly, I feel
Do you
it.
not like being spanked?
Um, no.
Right.
Ew.
He
Making me
doesn't like
blush.
being spanked, guys.
You're making me blush. What's going on?
He doesn't
No.
like being spanked, guys. You heard it from him.
No. Okay, Flaco, thank you very much for joining us, and we're really looking forward to having you on again. We can't wait to have your content. Everyone, shout out to Flaco. You can catch her on Instagram, TikTok, what are the other socials? Tell us.
That's it.
Okay, Instagram and TikTok. Okay,
I don't know.
Flaco Beauty. Thanks for tuning in, BRUDDC Entertainment. Peace, y'all.